now that your season is getting ready to get a little bit of a break, so to speak, because the Olympics are coming up and the Canadian national team will making its fourth straight appearance. This will be your third Olympics. So if it's your third, then that means you went as like a 15-year-old, a 16-year-old or something like that, right?
I was a baby when I first started with the team. I started with the team just after their appearance in London in 2012, so 2013. I was 16 at the time, and I believe we went to our first Olympics 4 years after that. So I was 20 in the first one, and I've been moving through it ever since. But grateful for that opportunity. I went to that first camp as a, welcome to the Olympic team, and we want you to see how it works so that when you do get here at some point, you have an understanding of how it goes. And these are the best, players that we have in our country at the time. And I guess I played really well in that camp because they were like, so do you want to come to China with us? So I went with them to China for a 2-week trip, and it's been history ever since. Like, I've been on that Olympic team. I haven't played two with my actual age group. I played 2 years, and then now I've moved up there and I've been there for almost 10 years. So it's pretty wild. We talk about being an old head there. When we do half court shots and we do it by age, I'm still in the middle, but I'm an old head because I've been there forever. So it's fun.
So you need to, you're going so these games are in Paris. So I'm assuming you got to brush up on a little bit of that French, because you got to brush up on it, get it nice and tight. So when you go over there this summer, everything will be the way that it's supposed to be. From a mindset standpoint, though, on the court, how do you approach it versus your last appearance and also coming out of the WNBA?
Yeah, so it's a really interesting thing when you go into the WNBA season and it's an Olympic year, and you know that at some point everything's going to stop for a month and you're going to head over to your next team. Like I mentioned before, I play a very different role on my Canadian national team than I play pretty much anywhere else. And so for me, when I'm there, a lot of it is kind of being ready to go. And I know that there's a pressure on me every time that I go out and play with the national team. I've been grateful because I started at a young age and found success with that team at a young age, that I've been a role model for a lot of young people in our country. And when you talk about the Canadian women's national team, a lot of times I do a lot of the media for them. You'll see my face around a lot of the stuff in the country. And so I know there's a pressure on that as well. And for this national team, we have for the last 4 years been really consistent in getting to the Olympics and had quite a bit of success. We were a fourth place finish in the World Championship in our last 2 years. And so for us, we've always had kind of that desire and also that goal to get on the podium. And our goal was to get on the podium in the last Olympics. We fell short of it by quite a bit. And now going into this Olympics, it's the same thing. Like, we still want to get onto that podium. We've got a ton of talent on our team. And so making the adjustment of I'm here when I need to be here in terms of like the LA Sparks game plans, figuring out what we need to do. After that last game before the break, I believe it's a 12:30 game. I will get on a flight about 8 o'clock that night, and I will fly to Spain, and I will meet up with my national team, and we'll get going there, do our exhibition games, and head to Paris for the Olympics. So, it's a big kind of swing there, but I'm grateful for the opportunity to represent my country anytime I get the chance to put on Canada. And on the Olympic stage, it's the biggest, most pressure-filled stage that you can get onto. But it's also one of the most rewarding, and it's 4 years. The problem is if you don't do well, we didn't do as well we wanted to in that last Olympic Games, you got to wait 4 years to get another shot at it, right? And you don't want to waste that 4-year shot. So I'm looking forward to going back there and hoping to get on that podium.
Kia, I'm not as smart as I might look. And I was sitting here, why do they call it the Canadian national team? Because I don't think we call it the USA national team? I don't know. I'm being serious.
That's how we would, well, the US Olympic team is typically what
Yeah.
people say here. We go
Okay.
Canadian national team, we're going to play against the Australian national team. We're going to play against the French national team. So for some reason, that's how we go about it. But we don't have a nickname or anything. We've been trying to work on it, but Canadian national team is the best way to put it.
Oh yeah. I actually is crazy. I'm actually going to dial in, and I've watched WNBA for years or whatever the case is. But I guess I don't know. I assumed for the most part that the Olympics, USA got this. Don't worry about nothing. But I'm more entrenched in the WNBA now than I've ever been. And so now many of the girls are going to play for their countries and whatnot. Like, I'm going to be really dialed in to watch. I'm like, I was up on Father's Day at 9 o'clock in the morning, West Coast time, watching Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark play. I don't know when the last time never. I don't think I've ever done that before. I've gone to games, but I haven't made an appointment watching. So it'll be interesting to see if what happens. You know, I'm just not one to just say, "Oh God, the U.S. gonna win." I don't know. Who knows?
International basketball, I mean, the men's side has shown you some stuff in the last couple of years too, but international basketball is like extremely exciting. And I know a lot of people are like, well, the game isn't really global. I'm like, no, like there's a reason why WNBA players go and play overseas because they have more money to pay you. Why do they have more money to pay you? Because it's popular. People want to watch it. They've got fans, they've got ownership that their organizations make money. And so it's an exciting game. And to have people, I know the WNBA, obviously the Team USA is built up of the top 12 WNBA players in the league, which is incredible when you think about putting all of them on one team, which is why they're very difficult to beat. But you look around the countries and you look at China's been on a surge for the women's basketball. They've been on the surge and they're fantastic. We've got a player on our team here in Li Ru who's fantastic for the Chinese national team. France has some really incredible players who have played in the WNBA as well. Spain's a tough one to beat. Australia is a really tough team to beat. So, you know, I'm really excited because there's so much talent in the WNBA and a lot of us are kind of dispersed as well, but there's also international talent in there. And, you know, USA is a tough team to beat. I will give you that. But, you know, at any given day in the Olympics, all you have to do is play your best basketball for 2 weeks. And if you can get out of that, get into that pool and get onto that podium, I mean, the national pride that comes along with it is so exciting. So you should tune in. It might be early mornings.
No, I am. No, I will. No, I will. The rules are slightly different though than the WNBA, right? You got to get adjusted to that international rules versus the WNBA.
Oh yeah, it's the ball, honestly. The molten ball is completely different. And it's like lighter and it has no grip. So like when you get there, it's like you want to dribble the ball for 24 hours straight just so that you can feel a little better with it.
We absolutely hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more from us, hit that subscribe button for all videos, full episodes, and exclusive content from the show. And don't forget to find All Facts, No Breaks on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.